I mean, come on. Elephant in the room. It's been about EJ Tackett.
Yes.
He got it! 3 in a row! 3! Yeah!
Is it Belmo who is the GOAT? Is it EJ?
You cannot call a world championship without players from around the world.
Yeah.
So having those players here and competing at a high level and winning titles, that's a beautiful story for PBA Tours.
For the win. Needs 7, has 10, has a title! Tuna King of Malaysia has his first career PBA Tour crown.
It's probably he's already player of
Yeah,
the year.
I mean, who can
he has
challenge?
2 majors. He won 3 PBA Tour titles,
And probably more
season
incoming,
is
so.
just season is just in the middle of it. So So boys, let's start the podcast, all right? So me, Erica's here, Krol is as well, and Mindaugas is on the couch. So thank you for joining in. And boys, just one question: how was the vacation for 24 hours between World Series of Bowling and USBC Masters now?
It's been great. I feel rested.
For sure, yes.
Rested.
No problem. 24 hours.
Was
is
editing
totally
some
enough.
videos, so finally had time to do it. But yeah, it's this month, March in general, the World Series of Bowling. It's been a very intense few weeks, but very interesting. And obviously, it's very interesting to cover such a diverse field. You know, we had lots of international players, lots of different winners in different step ladders. But I mean, come on, elephant in the room. It's been about EJ Tackett.
Yes.
The whole month, each and every tournament. If Tackett doesn't win, he goes on to play the longest PBA roll-off in history. If not, he then wins.
Simple as that.
So yeah, and I think the final game, you know, World Championship just highlighted EJ's dominance. He is a world champion 3rd time in a row, which is amazing feat, and obviously 4th time in general in history. So EJ, do we talk enough about him?
You know, we've been talking about him and making every single post about
Yeah,
EJ
well,
Tackett for
obviously, yeah.
almost a month. So it feels like it's not BowlingLife anymore or Bowling EJ Tackett Life.eu or something.
Tackett's life.
But as you mentioned, it's elephant in the room. He's single greatest bowler right now in the world. So just heading back a little to your thought that having a world championship between EJ Tackett and Jason Belmonte, it's like a cherry on the top of very sweet cake that
Yeah,
we've been
so-
having for.
So talking about EJ and Belmo. Belmo had comments that he doesn't want to be the best player. He wants to be the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So now, where do you personally lean towards? Is it Belmo who is the GOAT? Is it EJ? Maybe you have other players in mind.
For me, it's EG.
EJ?
Yes, because
But Belmo still has more titles than EJ.
yeah, I know. But you know, I'm the only one-hander here, so I must
True.
go with EG.
Yeah,
No.
okay, so that's the same debate as always.
Yeah, it's
One-handers
for sure.
against two-handers.
True. But you know,
why the hate, Mindaugas? Why the
I
hate?
didn't hate. I really like Belmo.
It was such a beautiful conversation, and you just ruin it right now. So
no.
yeah, just it all depends on the time lapse that we're talking about. If we're talking on the long distance, because Jason have been in PBA Tour for longer because he's 10
Yeah.
years older than EJ Tackett, but he has more titles, he has more majors. But if we talk in a short distance for a couple of years now, for 3-4 years, then EJ Tackett showed his dominance on PBA Tour, and he's probably one of the greatest players in the world in total, but single dominant player right now in the past few years.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe not a goat, but goatee.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I think I'm not confident enough like to say that one is the GOAT, the other is not. I think they are both great players. Obviously, Belmo for me is like he was always the idol, you know, when you are starting to bowl, learning to bowl, and so
Why
on.
don't you do that boom every single time that you strike?
Because I don't get strike. But yeah, he was personally my favorite player for a long time. So I might be a bit biased, you know. But looking at EJ's performances and EJ's games, and I think in a few years he will probably catch Belmo in titles, and then the debate will be real, you know, same title, same amount of titles, you know, and we cannot count Belmo out yet. He is showing incredible performances as well, and after all the stages before the stepladder finals, he was first. Either way, so that says a lot, and the fight that he took to EJ at the finals, you know, it was an intense game. Down to the wire, and it shows that for the upcoming tournaments, for the upcoming years, I think the battle will be really, really interesting. So I'm eager to see what both of these guys have next.
All right, just talking about EJ and Belmo's rivalry, you know, don't you guys think that when Belmo was showing that dominance on PBA Tour, Simo have been showing that dominance on PBA Tour, now EJ's time has come, but everybody is taking like it for granted, you know, like he's dominating, but it's like, it's fine. There's no, you know, building on it. There's no excitement or something on media. I don't know. I just get that thought every single time that he wins. It's like, it's EJ Tackett again. It's EJ Tackett winning again. But when Belmo wins, everybody is like losing their mind. It's like, oh my God, he's the greatest. He's back on the winner's circle. Don't you, I don't know, spot that?
Well, I mean, when Belmo wins now, it's definitely exciting because he's how do I put it? EJ is dominating, Belmo is in the shadows right now, right? So when he wins now, it's obviously very exciting, and we are all screaming, Belmo is back. EJ is doing that every other tournament, or maybe every tournament, you could say. So obviously when that happens, people kind of get used to it. It doesn't seem so surprising when you see the stepladder finalists and you see EJ's name. Well, you expect him to be at least at the finals. So I think it's natural. People get used to things.
Yeah, I
and
also agree
yeah.
with that because he's not that he was like some bad player 2 years ago, you know, and now he's somehow jumping out. But he was pretty long time very good, and as you say, every other tournament he could win, and he wouldn't, or he will be in the step ladders. Everyone see him, so I think the hype is a little bit down now because he's pretty much every time you
Yeah.
can see
Yeah,
him in the
but
finals
when
or in the
Belmo
top
and
circle.
Simo were winning everything, like the excitement was at
But
other level.
yeah, but
let's
there
say.
there was, I think, because different kind of situations, you know. Simo was very young when he's win a lot, you know. It kind of gives different excitement, and Belmo is reaching like the top players of all time, you know. So it's also gives different excitement about that, I think.
And I don't know if I necessarily agree that EJ's victories are not hyped or whatever. I think EJ is a very expressive player, and that gives us a lot of different iconic moments of EJ that are all over the internet. So I think on that part, EJ is very likable. If you would scroll through the comments, there are lots and lots of EJ supporters. I think Belmo maybe was like the hype was because it was kind of controversial, because Belmo is a person who came in and took two-handed bowling to another level. Belmo is the one who started this incredibly long debate between two-handers and one-handers. So I think that was the main thing that actually built that hype. But I think EJ gets the credit. And if he doesn't, he just still comes in and takes the title.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if it would happen that EJ would, not that I'm wishing anything, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if he would, calm down and and let others win, and then win again, probably the hype would be as well. Is, oh my God, EJ is back. Let's see what he does this season. But yeah, I mean, it's either way. EJ, I think it's safe to say that if nothing magical happens, he's Player of the Year again.
It's
And
probably he's already Player of
Yeah,
the
I
Year.
mean, who can
he has
challenge
2
him?
majors. He won 3 PBA Tour titles,
And probably more
season
incoming,
is
so.
just season is just in the middle of it. So, but don't you think that it's his dominance is related to I don't know. I don't want to say low competition, but lower maybe competition, because Simo is injured, as I heard of, so he's not performing that well as he used to. Belmo is not executing that good as you would expect from Belmo to do it, and he's not executing on TV plays. So he had 2 matches in World Series of Bowling, and he lost both of it.
Yeah,
So,
but it's I get where you're going with this, but I don't agree. There are lots of like new faces that are kind of dominating as well.
yeah, especially on
Tim Foy Jr. is almost in every TV show as well. Andrew Anderson is showing incredible form as well. So and lots of international
yeah.
players, young guys. There are lots of people who are challenging him. So I don't say that it's because of competition. I think competition is great, and yeah, just jumping to international players theme. During the World Series of Bowling, we had third of the whole field.
67 out of 201.
Yeah, international players, and as I heard, the whole like idea of World Series of Bowling and the idea that commissioner had is to make it an international, championship for people to come in and make this actually a world championship. And international players really showed Americans how people are playing bowling in other countries, especially like we had the winner of Sweden, Rasmus Edwall. We had 2 winners from Singapore and Malaysia, both bringing like first PBA titles to these countries in history. So these are incredible achievements, and yeah, we can maybe talk a bit about the international players. Because we had 3 winners, plus we had against Rasmus Edwall during the Scorpion Championship. The finals was also with the international player. Rasmus faced against Rafik Ismail, who was first after all the qualifying stages. So, I mean, how good are these guys?
Really good. And, just talking about Rasmus, I don't know what is more surprising, but it's not the right word. This guy was number 5 seed.
Yeah, that's even more impressive.
He won 4 step ladder matches. It's incredible feat. I mean, I don't recall another time that player did it. So if you guys remember, just drop in the comments.
Well, I'm
But
sure that there
yeah,
were
of course,
plenty of those,
there's
but
a lot. But you know, a lot of guys that I know of been talking that it wasn't the prettiest stepladder finals in history of PBA,
yeah, well,
but in if you talk about a player who has to win 4 times in a row to win the title, it wouldn't. It's just not surprised that he's making the other guys giving them hard time because if you want to win in a beautiful way, you just have to bowl maybe 1 game or 2 games maximum. But if you need to win 4 times, stuff gets nasty sometimes. So missing spares, a lot of splits, a lot of the matches takes long, so it's not that appealing to watch. On the other hand, we have a player who never won a PBA Tour title, so it's always a beautiful story to talk about.
and just to add to this, one of the players he had to beat was the man, E.J. Tackett.
Yes, of
So
course.
it makes it even more impressive. And yeah, just I guess while we are on the Scorpion Championship topic, the whole stepladder finals, it was a bit of a messy show. It wasn't that exciting. Lots of low scores, as you mentioned. Splits, people missing spares. Well, it was I don't want to say the word, but it was a shit show.
Oh, come on. Randy was talking about in a commentary booth that Rasmus will need much more than 214-ish, something like that, to beat E.J. Tackett. So, at that moment I was thinking about...
Well, he had 217. So
yeah, but it was really close, But E.J. Tackett had what, 205?
2.5, yeah.
Yeah. So, I was thinking at that moment, writing the article and thinking, Randy, what are you talking about? Just if Rasmus, calms down the show, makes some shots that didn't execute it well or something, and just EJ loses the momentum, of that striking because the game intensifies. When people are striking, it's much easier to make consecutive strikes because the game is like,
It's faster.
it's faster. You're into the routine. You know what you're doing, and So when Rasmus is hitting that rhythm down, he has the advantage, and I was really excited to see how he builds it up and how he takes every single guy one by one.
Yeah, not taking anything away from Rasmus, it was a very impressive win, and I think the main thing is that it was a difficult day for all players. I mean, all stepladder field struggled. It was difficult, and Rasmus showed like very impressive calmness, and stability basically. He didn't like shoot 250 every game, but it was not needed because other players were not hitting high as well.
Yeah, but
so with stability, he took down all of them. So I think
he was enjoying.
That makes it even more impressive, actually, because like when I'm looking at the scores right now, it's Ryan Barnes 133.
But it's second time. Last time he made the show, he made 144 or something like that.
Yeah, well, either way. You have bad games.
He will build to it. He's very young, and
he still
his
has
days
plenty
are
of
coming.
time. Then Tobias Boarding, we had 189. Then EJ Tackett,
So we had
205.
3 international players.
Yeah, and Rafik Ismail, he had 172. So these are very low scores, looking at the stepladder history.
But we have a lot of first timers.
Yeah.
So you can write it down to that, because when you're hitting TV show every single day like EJ Tackett does, it's easier for you to make a spare. But when you have to take that 10th pin, or I don't know, 9th pin, when you're having a terrible shot at the first ball, so it's much harder to do it. So
But, it's lower scoring pace. yeah, it's not that appealing to watch, as you said. A lot of first timers. It was actually pretty interesting in a different way, I think.
Yeah, because
All these step ladders, because Rasmus won his first ever appearance. So this quite an achievement. It doesn't matter how you actually achieve that.
exactly.
Also, the lower scoring pace, I think it wasn't that bad in overall.
Yeah, they're coming at 200, so it's fine, but it's not like 250 or 260 like when every single spare is like a big mistake and you don't have any chance against your opponent. But just heading back to international players, we had a lot of really interesting stories and interesting players coming from places that we haven't had a lot on PBA Tour before, from Japan. But Japan, we had players on PBA Tour before because they're having PBA Japan like regional stuff happening right there, and as well as in Sweden. But we had a lot of players from other corners of Asia.
Yeah, so I think the country that we need to highlight here is Malaysia. Like, these guys are, I don't want to say dominating, but they are definitely are showing signs of greatness, IBF World Cup, both men and women, they were simply like dominating. They had, I don't know how many medals, but it was a lot, both individuals and teams. So the performance was great here. Then we have Timmy Tan, who was recently in stepladder finals as well. And here we had also two guys playing in stepladder finals at the finals, and one of those guys actually took the title, which was the first title for Malaysia. So they are doing incredible things, and I'm really eager to see what they are going to do next. I'm really hoping that these guys will become like a usual attendees to PBA Tour. They are very exciting to watch.
It's all about what it is, World Series of Bowling, and what Tom Clark is trying to make. You cannot call a world championship without players from around the world.
Yeah,
so
sure.
having those players here and competing at high level and winning titles, that's a beautiful story for PBA Tour. So hopefully a lot of players will come next year. So we have 1/3 of the player field now. I really hope that in upcoming 5 years we will have like 50% of the player field, at least from around the world, not just US, bowlers. Kudos to them, they are really good, but international players have a lot of what to show, but they just cannot come because it's, it all depends on the money, on the funding, on the sponsorships, and so on and so on.
Guarantees,
And guarantees, of course. But heading back to Tun Hakim, it's not about winning the title, but how he made it. For me, his performance in the stepladder finals was one of the most stable ones in all World Championship, in all World Series of Bowling, because he scored like 269, but he was playing pretty differently from other players. He took urethane. He was playing straight lines from the right, but it was, his performance as the first time on TV on PBA Tour.
It seemed like
he was like,
he is used to it.
yeah, but he was like dominating. His eyes, he's like that racing horse. He has those things on the eyes,
he
and
sees the pins and
he
just
sees
destroys
nothing else. And
It
but
doesn't matter anything else.
I was scared to watch him from TV. Like it was. I was expecting him to make a strike on me, like throwing balls at me. So it was quite a show he made, and
it was very nice because they had the support. Obviously, the Malaysians were there as well, the players. But I think they have support of the people. they seem to me like very nice guys,
They're
and I think that,
enjoying the moment.
yeah,
like
yeah,
just for
it's
instance,
like
look,
natural. You know?
we had one from we had Rasmus Win when Sweden guys were running into the approach
Yeah, it's a big
and like
achievement for
raising
these
him
people.
and showing support and so on. And when Hakim took the win, also Malaysians were running into the onto the lanes, taking pictures.
And
so on.
another guy, while we are on that topic, is Darren Ong from Singapore, who took a first PBA title for Singapore as well. And the same situation there, you know, other guys were running to him and, you know, congratulating. And it just seems like that genuine joy, you know, for a person to take this down. It's a big achievement, not just for him, but for his country as well. So it's a huge moment, and Darren Ong also showed. I mean, if you run it back, you watch the show.
You have 5 seconds to say that.
Yeah, I mean it's.
5, 4, 3.
What do you want me to say? Shit show.
No, he was throwing 300s like 3 times on the show, not on TV, but in the qualification he made 300s. So
Yeah,
like
well,
he was dominating right
I'm
from
just
the beginning.
talking about the final game, which was a bit like. Well, it was a bit messy, you know. A lot of Brooklyns and whatever.
Yes, take a look. Those international players, they have a lot more stress, I think, than US players.
Of course.
So those first timers, they are first timers. They representing not only themselves but
Yeah.
the whole country actually.
Yeah.
And US player, they don't have that on their shoulders.
And plus, you are going against EJ Tackett. So
This is
it's
also,
just
yeah.
adding to that. And but still, even though the final game was like a bit maybe difficult, but he still managed to, you know, do it and beat EJ and take down the title. But obviously, not taking away from him throughout the qualification, just making 300s one after another. It's a very impressive. He dominated that the whole Viper Championship, and he definitely deserved it. And I'm really happy that titles are going to these countries. I think it just shows that bowling is very big in that part of the world. Obviously in Sweden as well. And while we are on that topic, you know, we have also like very big tournaments there, maybe that are not that covered on the media that we all follow in our you know.
Yeah, but a
place
lot
of
of
the world.
you know Europeans and players from the US are participating in those
Yeah,
events
yeah,
because
yeah, for
they're
sure.
very good funded, and there's a lot of prizes to win. They have a really good coverage, and you know the whole event is really good. So they have a beautiful field where they can, you know, blossom and to become really good players. And you know, I believe that it took too long for them to win the first PBA Tour titles for Asia countries.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they have a lot of good players and they had them for decades now. And I'm really happy that they took it finally. And maybe it will raise the interest of the sport for other players in Asia as well. Not just, you know, to participate on PBA Tour, but just for the sport in general. So having a lot of bowlers in there and having really good, you know, examples of winning on international fields. So it's really important, and I hope to see they start dominating bowling in the whole world in upcoming decades.
Yeah, so just to wrap up the international bowling topic, I think it's our duty to just give a bit of heads up for people who are watching and maybe interested to see what is happening there. So we will have Malaysian Open where all of these players will participate. We will have Singapore Open, and obviously at the end of summer we will have Storm Lucky Larsen Masters that will happen in Sweden as well. So all of these players will participate in those tournaments. Obviously, it's in their home countries. Lots of great bowling there, so we recommend you to check out, and if you don't want to miss any action, follow BowlingLife.
We talked about the players. Now let's talk about
Balls.
balls. Their balls. Bowling balls. Okay, so let's talk about those balls that been in TV finals and that won titles. Okay, just there's a lot of bowling balls, so we won't talk about all of them, but just like let's make it to 3-4 balls that were winning
Maybe
titles.
2 balls or 3.
Maybe one ball actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just talk about balls. So I think talking about balls, one ball stands out.
Of course.
And it's Motive Evoke
Hysteria.
Hysteria. I don't want to butcher the name.
We will do it anyway. So.
Yeah, but this ball was on the TV for, well, it got lots of coverage, that's for sure, and huge promotion. EJ Tackett won World Championship with it, and
Rasmus won it.
yeah, and Rasmus won. So, is it ball of the year? You could say that, or no, or is it too soon, or do we have other contenders?
I actually pretty like that ball because you can take a look. It won on 2 different patterns with the 2 different playing styles.
Both one-handers.
Yeah, both patterns. True, but I don't know. Maybe the ball itself it's that good actually, because I didn't try it yet. I didn't see it. I see it only on this tournament, so it was pretty interesting to see because EJ Tackett used this ball. I say a little bit unusual way, as he likes. He played it a little bit slower and hook it a little bit more, but this ball has a lot of energy in the back. It was
Yeah, but he was playing far left.
yes, but this was interesting strategy. So this ball allow him to do it, maybe,
Yeah,
and it was incredible to look at that.
it looks like Hysteria has some extra powers, or let's say on transition oil. They've been using it for not early in the game. Of course, we didn't see EJ Tackett play early on, but when it comes to transition oil, this ball seemed to excel really well. So I don't know. It's a hybrid, right?
No, it's a pearl. It's a pearl ball and it's asymmetrical ball. So I think it was playing that nice because of it, because it in the mid lane it doesn't bother at all and it has very snappy and fast backhand. So I think this is why they choose it in those moments. And as I mentioned, it looked pretty incredible because the power that it gets into the pins, it was amazing. Because if you saw it, EG's strikes, sometimes the pins just flying across the deck, even standing,
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's a lot of energy retaining, but
Are you
This-
getting this ball?
I would really like to, because I never tried motive balls,
Huh?
but I really like to try it.
of course
Of course.
it won 3 titles, 3 titles, and in
Wait, so 3?
yeah, it was Rasmus and
EG.
Tackett winning 2. Shark and
Right,
World
he won 2
Championship.
titles.
There's
okay.
so many of them.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but just looking at that ball, I don't know if you saw it, but Motive does a really good advertising stuff. They put a really big logo on the ball, so you see it from a distance. That
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
Evoke. So you don't, if you know the colors and Evoke, so it's Hysteria. So that word is not. It's probably on the other side that camera takes on, but having that big logo, it's really captivating. And for instance, if you use other balls, I don't know, they used Track Stealth. For instance, I couldn't see the logo, and it was like, what ball are they using? You need to see the arsenal they are having for the tournament to see it, because they make it really mates, and you don't see the logos at all.
Stealth was really stealth.
So
Well, it has to live up to the name,
So
Okay,
Motive
so
was doing the job.
let's say Evoke Hysteria is probably the ball of World Series of Bowling.
Yeah,
it's safe to
if
say,
EJ
right?
Tackett was dominating the
EJ is
world,
the player of
Yeah.
of World Series of Bowling, and Evoke Hysteria is the ball.
Exactly.
So what other balls did we have?
None.
So Tun Hakim, one
all
with black pearl urethane.
Urethane, yeah.
So that's
From
the
Hammer.
urethane. And I think that was the only urethane that won the title.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting, right? Because urethanes are very popular.
And Hammer.
And Hammer.
Yeah, but
Hammer is winning again.
no, it's it's good for the Hammer that urethane bowl is winning on PBA Tour again. It complies with the rules.
Might want to check.
It's a response for the rules,
I'm pretty convinced that they check the ball after giving the trophy, but like give the ball. Let's change.
I'll just check the drawing.
So that ball was really good, but I don't know about the ball. Of course, it performed really well, but in the hands of Hakim, a lot of players would have chosen to play that line if they could, but they didn't. It was the right moment to play with that ball. It was the right guy handling that ball, and the ball surface and the ball itself was, in a combination, it was power force.
Yeah.
It's like Naruto or something.
Amazing. Good. And then we had one more winner, who was Darren Ong. So he played with what? Stealth.
Stealth hybrid. Yeah.
So that's
The one I didn't see.
very stealth.
Bluish black
Yeah.
ball.
Bluish black.
Yeah. So basically, what we can say is these balls, obviously, in the hands of those players, are great, and obviously the sales will go up. But out of these, let's say, winner 3, probably Hysteria just takes the spotlight this time, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I take a look a little bit in the numbers about those balls. So I personally will choose Evoke Hysteria.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
3 titles. It says something.
No, true. But also the Stealth hybrid is pretty interesting ball. You can write it down, because they are pretty similar, but in the numbers perspective. But just Hysteria is asymmetrical pearl, and Stealth is a hybrid, symmetrical hybrid. It's I think if you have the opportunity to have both them in your bag, so it will be a good choice.
And it's really possible to have them both, or actually all 3 of them, or any other ball that you want. So head down to Bowling Shop Europe and take your ball. Choose whatever you like, whether it's Motive, Evoke, Hysteria, or Track Stealth, Hybrid, or
basically
any other
ball
ball
that
that
you
you want. It can be drilled, it can be sent to you right away. So head down to Bowling Shop Europe and take your ball with you.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about the specifications of these balls and how do they look on the lanes, on different conditions and so on, we have our review done on bowlinglife.eu. So head down, read, and learn more. Right, so going away from all the winners, from EJ Tackett, from Motive Hysteria, and things like that, we had other interesting stories unfolding throughout the World Series of Bowling. One of those stories was Verity Crawley, who was, which place did she take?
She took 23rd place in a Wiper Championship.
Yeah.
So she made the cut. She actually made to the top 24, right?
Yeah, and she lost to Zach
eventually,
Wilkins,
3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
So it still only one game away from advancing, and she was the only female who was able to get this high in the standings. So I think it's
worth mentioning, of course. But World Series of Bowling is really nice place to talk about female in the competition on PBA Tour, because in 2017, as you know, Liz Johnson took the championship title at Chameleon. So it wouldn't be a first time, that a woman wins on PBA Tour, and that would be a beautiful story. But I don't know why, but just two of them competed in this year's edition. So it was a little bit disappointing for me, because I was expecting more, and I think that PBA Tour can work on exactly this topic. But it's probably related to a handicap system, because here they don't have those 8 pins handicap, so it's really hard to compete, especially when boys are scoring 250, 260.
Yeah, but Verity showed that it's possible, and she did a great job. She was higher than guys like Marshall Kent, the
Simo.
man Tim Foy Jr., Simo, Kyle Troop. So she took down lots of big names, and I hope to, like, for the upcoming years, that we will see more and more female bowlers joining the competition, and I think the more like diversity, the better. It makes it more interesting to watch. It makes lots of big stories and big headlines that are interesting to read and watch and follow. So it just adds a lot to the sport, adds a lot to the event and to the PBA Tour. So I guess just congratulations, Verity. It was a very good achievement, big achievement, and great performance. So kudos.
What about other rising stars on World Series of Bowling? Let's talk about Tim Foy Jr. and Krol.
I don't know if he's still rising star or not, because like this whole season he is a star.
Yeah, but he's rising. When season unfolds.
When do you think he will win the title? Because I'm feeling it's very close.
Yeah,
very
if
close.
I have to bet, I would say in 2025 season.
So
like this year.
Yeah,
this year.
I'm expecting that as well. I think, he was very close to winning this time in World Championship. He lost to EJ in a very unfortunate for him scenario where EJ needed to strike, and he did, but it wasn't the prettiest strikes. Obviously, it's still a 10. I'm not taking anything away. A 10 is a 10, whatever. But I think it's a bit crushing to see, that kind of scenario unfold in front of your eyes when this kind of title is at stake.
But he has a really good mindset coming into the game. Yeah. He's probably one of the most calmest dudes, and
he's very fun to watch. All his commentary during the games, it's so entertaining. Yeah. So.
But he's very calm. Every single time that he come to TV show, he's like, no, I don't know, exaggeration or nothing like, off topic.
It was said many times by the commentators. Tim Foy Jr. is a corrections officer. It was repeated plenty of times. So we know that his job away from bowling, I guess he's seen everything, and playing bowling is just fun. Oh, that's nice. I'm on TV. Nice. So Tim Foy Jr. definitely a star, rising or just a star, and we are obviously expecting a title very, very soon. Another player I think that also deserves a mention here is Krol. I mean,
And his exact opposite. He's all over the place. He's standing on
but
the
the guy
chairs,
is so
cheering.
entertaining. Wow.
He's amazing. And you don't have to talk about when he will win his first title because he has to.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's really close of winning the third one, and I think that it's time for him to be in the competition, to always compete for the title because he's really good, he's really stable, and he can score hell of a scores on basically every pattern. So in each of competition that he participates in, he is quite a contender, and people really recognizes him right now, and he's top 10 bowler in the world right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just, I think we need to highlight one more thing. I just checked the standings again, and obviously in Shark Championship we had Tom Smallwood, who sort of rises again. It was quite a time where stepladder finals were without Tom Smallwood, so I think it's great to see him competing and almost taking a title. So I think it just deserves for us to give some kudos to Tom as well. Good. So we talked about lots of things here, and to end things on a maybe more fun note, I have a trivia for you. I just checked the stats after the qualification rounds throughout all the tournaments, and I wonder if you can guess which of the tournaments during the World Series of Bowling, during the qualification stage, had the highest strike percentage.
It should be Chameleon or no.
I will
Yeah,
guess,
Chameleon or Wiper.
So which one?
Let's say Chameleon.
Chameleon. Do you agree?
I will guess Viper.
Good. So Chameleon had 63% strike percentage.
The whole
and-
player field.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Viper had 55.
Okay,
So that's a lot.
true.
Big difference. So now let's guess which one of the tournaments had the lowest strike percentage.
Should be Shark.
Okay. Logos, what is your guess?
On this, I will agree.
And you are wrong again, but very close. Shark was 53%, and the lowest actually was Scorpion, which was 52. So when we were talking about Rasmus's win, I forgot to mention, but I think it just speaks volumes, that during the qualification stage we had the lowest strike percentage out of all the tournaments. So I guess it's just a difficult pattern for people to fight. Good. And then just to sum up, obviously the stats are from Lane Talk. So thank you guys for creating such a good platform to keep track of things. But while we are on Scorpion topic, I think it is also worth mentioning that during the qualification, Scorpion had the highest percentage of splits as well, which was 9%. So that's highest as well from all the tournaments, and the second one was Shark with 8%. So interesting to see. And I guess that wraps up our conversation. It's been a busy month, so I think it's time for us to rest a bit as well.
Do what?
I'm just kidding.
Do what?
USBC Masters started
God.
already when this video is
yeah,
live.
like bowling literally right now as we speak.
Yeah, so when this video will be up and running, so I don't know in which stage the tournament will be, but obviously we have USBC Masters, and we have Malaysian Open soon, and what else do we have?
Major on the line on
Major on the
USBC Masters. So,
obviously.
it's-
Lots of bowling action still ahead of us. We will definitely have a very busy season and a very busy year. Well, it's scary and exciting at the same time, but I'm looking forward to see EJ win a few more titles. I'm eager to see Tim Foy taking one home and to see what the PBA Tour brings us next and other tournaments as well. So thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you people for watching. If you like this kind of content, if you are interested in bowling stories and bowling news, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and follow us on social media, where we update constantly on tournaments and news all around the world.
Yeah, it might seem that, there's not a lot of bowling happening in the world, but when you follow BowlingLife, you see that there's a lot of bowling happening
Bowling
every day.
BowlingLife.
So
It's BowlingLife.
just head down and be part of the community, and let's do something amazing.
Yeah. So good. Thank you. Thank you all. And see you next time.
Okay, it's
Keep
enough.
on
Striking.